Turns out the Nazis are launching a surprise attack.
Then we stop them.
2013's Justice League The Flashpoint Paradox is still widely regarded as one of the best entries in the DC Universe movies line. It also happens to be the only one of these movies to center around the Flash. Coincidence? Possibly not. Barry Allen finally takes center stage again in Justice Society World War II, and once again becomes the foundation for a truly excellent animated DC adventure.
If this goes haywire, blame the new guy.
Justice Society, which loosely draws on Golden Age DC Comics, isn't exactly an origin story for Barry, but it does feature a relatively young and inexperienced version of the Scarlet Speedster. After one of his obligatory Speed Force mishaps, Barry finds himself thrust 80 years into the past into the heart of World War II. There, Barry joins forces with Wonder Woman, Steve Trevor, Hawkman, Black Canary, Hourman, and the original Flash, Jay Garrick, to stop Hitler's nefarious plot against the Allied forces. Warner Brothers essentially flipped the reset switch on the DC Universe movies line with 2020's Justice League Dark Apocalypse War and Superman Man of Tomorrow. That refresh seems to have been just what this long-running animated line needed. Recent DC releases have been more entertaining and less slavishly devoted to the source material. Like with this year's Batman Soul of the Dragon, it's easy to see the comic book DNA of Justice Society World War II, but it never feels beholden to any one particular DC comic story. Heck, it seems as much influenced by movies like Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Rocketeer as anything else, hence why the fun factor is so high on this one. There's a lot that could go wrong with a movie that attempts to introduce a new version of Barry Allen and an entire Golden Age super team in the span of an hour and a half. Early on, it's not entirely clear why Barry needs to be in the picture in the first place, except as a familiar anchor point for casual audiences. But over the course of the film, Barry's role in this time travel romp becomes more significant and clearly defined. The film makes strong use of its central mystery. Why does no one in the 21st century remember this team of metahuman soldiers?
You're quick, son, but villainy can never outrun justice.
Fans of the classic Justice League episode Legends will especially appreciate the clash between new and old heroes, though Justice Society World War II ultimately veers in a different direction. Pacing has often been the bane of the DC Universe movies line, with many of these projects either trying to cram too much plot into too short a time, or basically omitting the middle act altogether. But Justice Society makes surprisingly efficient use of its ensemble cast. Each of the characters has a tangible arc. For Barry and Diana, there's the ever-present struggle to balance superhero responsibility with the desire for a fulfilling personal life. Black Canary struggles to open herself up and accept her suppressed affections for Hawkman. Hourman struggles with the limitations of his powers and the idea that he's only useful to the team for 1 hour out of every day. There's also a charming romance subplot between Diana and Steve Trevor, recalling the strong chemistry between Gal Gadot and Chris Pine's live-action characters.
Spread out. Hourman, you and Jay with me on the ground. Carter, you and Dinah take the sky.
Interestingly, the film borrows a page directly from the DCEU by having Stana Katic mimic Gal Gadot's accent in her portrayal of Diana. That winds up working in its favor as it helps reinforce Diana's aloof outsider nature. In general, the voice cast is solid, particularly Matt Bomer's headstrong and slightly scatterbrained Barry.
And I can do nothing. If you really are from the future, we can't complicate the timeline.
Oh, right. I've seen that movie.
The animation is also a highlight, reusing the same thick-lined, comic booky style as Man of Tomorrow, but upping the scale and intensity of the battle scenes. Jay Garrick is the only real disappointment in that regard. He never benefits from the same character development as the rest of the team, and his struggles are purely physical. The film never really takes advantage of the Flash family dynamic or attempts to build a rapport between Barry and Jay. Still, the appeal of well-defined characters paired with a fun, engaging World War II conflict can't be understated. The plot moves quickly and with great purpose, ultimately covering far more storytelling ground than the trailer lets on. It also ends on enough of an open-ended note to justify a direct follow-up. Warner's has yet to confirm whether projects like Man of Tomorrow, Justice Society, and the upcoming Batman The Long Halloween are part of the same shared universe. But given how well this new animated approach is working, there's no reason not to continue building on that foundation.
Are you ready to end this war?
I thought you'd never ask.
Welcome to the team.
Justice Society World War II easily ranks among the best of the long-running DC Universe movies series. It draws just the right amount of inspiration from the source material while also pulling from adventure movies like Raiders of the Lost Ark to spin an entertaining superhero yarn. It deftly avoids the pacing issues that have plagued so many of these movies and manages to take full advantage of nearly every member of its ensemble cast. Clearly, Warner Brothers should be putting Barry Allen at the center of these animated films more often. For more reviews of your favorite movies, keep it here on IGN.